Let me ask, at what point in your career, as you were, making all these discoveries, did you have that sort of aha moment about how ancestral trauma and inherited patterns are actually affecting your patient's health in present day life?
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, it's been an evolving understanding for me, but for some reason, I've always had a lot of patients that are either Holocaust survivors themselves or children of Holocaust survivors. That's just one group that just has always come to me in my practice. And so my thinking around this, was in part informed by working with all of these individuals. And then it really became so, I may have been aware of that, but I didn't know what to do about it. And then many years back, I started working with a technique called OCMOS. And this is where I use a handheld non-electronic device and I measure someone's biofield, their auric field at various frequencies. And I look to see if their energetic field is in balance or not. And, for most people with health challenges, it's not. And then I basically start doing this process where I have a conversation with their body and I'm asking what pieces of misinformation are creating dissonance in their body and field and disrupting resonance with their blueprint. And as I kind of figure that, through this kind of algorithm of questions I'm going through, if I come up with or get a sense that there's some ancestral trauma, then I begin working on that. And sometimes it's like I can work with someone for so long and then all of a sudden one day, wow, it's present and it's like so obvious that's what we need to work on. And so I've kind of developed this technique where it's a hybrid of traditional OCMOS work, but it's where I kind of bring in some help in the room, in terms of like some archangels and I silently, and then I can kind of almost envision a timeline, like it's like the person in front of me has a timeline going off to the right. That's like the patrilineal line, a timeline going off to the left. That's the matrilineal line. And occasionally, just in my mind's eye, I see that it's very important to kind of scrub the timeline, so to speak. It's like you can kind of almost see little hot spots of trauma going back in generations. And there's resonance with what the person is experiencing today. So I kind of think about, the concept of resonance is you can explain it well when you think about tuning forks. If I had a tuning fork in the key of C and I struck it, if there was another one in the room in the key of C, it would begin to ring. But if there was one in the room in the key of B, it wouldn't. So because our being is informed by our blueprint, which was informed by the egg and the sperm and the energetic signatures in each of those, the egg and the sperm, then it goes back generations. You can see that there's things that happen in previous generations that are reverberating. So this is a more abstract way of looking at it, but there's an opportunity to help ground the dissonance back in time. So and it's just really an intention of like, with assistance, just asking for that to be grounded off. And you can really, I personally can feel just the dissonance kind of calming down in the individual as I do that.